Good evening and welcome. For those who I don't know or who I haven't met yet, my name is Jen Coatsworth and I am the 2024 Chancellor of the Philadelphia Bar Association. Thank you so much, and we're so happy that you could join us today as we celebrate the wonderful year for our association. This has been a year of success and continued growth for our association, none of which would be possible without the commitment of our volunteer leadership and the ongoing support of all of our members. And of course, we couldn't do any of the wonderful things we've done this year without our tremendous staff. So please join me in giving a big round of applause for our staff. Just to highlight a few of the successes that we've had this year, we instituted a program with many association members participating in small group discussions about how we can measurably move diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging forward in all different types of office environments. The ideas from these groups will be published in a toolkit or resource manual that will appear on the association's website. A small group of association leaders and volunteers did significant work on creating a proposal to update and modernize the association's bylaws and the bylaws on the Commission on Judicial Selection and Retention. While this work is still ongoing, we are confident that it will result in creating a greater efficiency and will allow us to be nimbler in meeting the constantly evolving needs of our membership. Also, in partnership with the Pennsylvania Bar Association, the Committee of 70, and the Pepper Center, we worked to train and recruit poll workers for all 67 Pennsylvania counties and to educate our membership on critical issues related to ensuring free and fair elections. We further expanded our institutional membership program to include public interest agencies in addition to law schools and city departments. This highly successful initiative has allowed us to grow and diversify our membership, helping us to speak out with an even stronger voice on issues impacting the legal profession in Philadelphia and beyond. We also held several highly regarded events, including co-presenting an important election-focused law day in partnership with the American Bar Association's Task Force for American Democracy and the Pennsylvania Bar Association. We also held quarterly events on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the current historic slate of female leaders in Pennsylvania. We also held a Chancellor's Forum on the parenthood penalty. And we are not done yet. We've spoken out and supported efforts to improve judicial security, and next Monday, December 16th at 4 p.m., we will hold our final event of the year, a virtual Chancellor's Forum on Judicial Security with the President Judges of the Philadelphia Courts and the Chief Judge of the Eastern District, as well as several prominent practitioners. We hope that you'll join us. Before we begin this evening's program formally, I'd like to thank our presenting event sponsors, Citizens Bank and Citizens Private Wealth, and our firm and event sponsors. At the gold level, Ballard Spar, Blank Rome, Cozen O'Connor, and Deckert. At the silver level, Fox Rothschild, Feldman Shepard, Tanner Weinstock, Dodig, and White & Williams. And at the bronze level, Broad Ridge, Holland & Knight, and Saul Ewing. I'd also like to thank our annual partners, 11 Star Legal Search, Bit by Bit, M&T Bank, Profit Solve, USI Affinity, My Benefit Advisor, and Wealth Enhancement Group. And our institutional members, Drexel University Klein School of Law, Temple University Beasley School of Law, the City of Philadelphia Law Department, the District Attorney's Office, the Defender Association of Philadelphia, Community Legal Services, Philadelphia Legal Assistance, the Public Interest Law Center, and the Senior Law Center. We appreciate all of your support. And now I'd like to introduce Dan Astolfi, Head of Commercial Banking for the Mid-Atlantic region at Citizens Bank, to make a few remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Jen, thanks again for your leadership this past year. Again, Dan Astolfi, I manage the corporate and not-for-profit banking businesses for Citizens in the Eastern Mid-Atlantic region. I report into our Mid-Atlantic President, Dan Fitzpatrick. Dan is traveling, but sends his regards. On behalf of Tricia Horder, who's a member of the bar, who runs our professional services business, Doug Moxham, who's our private wealth leader here in the Eastern Mid-Atlantic region, myself and Dan Fitzpatrick, we're proud to continue our sponsorship support for this important event. What you folks do is critical. You're trusted advisors to your clients. We use banks to do all of our transactional work. We trust them to get transactions done smoothly. So we aspire as bankers to be trusted advisors, just like you folks are with your clients. We hope that the environment is ripe going into 2025 for more transactional work, more M&A, more capital investment. And we think the stars are aligned in that regard. We anticipate the Federal Reserve will continue to ease going in through 25. We think next week they'll ease another quarter and maybe 3 and 25 after that. We think our clients' balance sheets are in very good shape. During the pandemic, they were trying to stay ahead of inflation, were borrowing on their credit lines, and then as interest rates went up, they rapidly decreased their debt loads given the higher interest rates, so their balance sheets are in good shape. Banks are more willing now than they were maybe a year ago, March and April of '03, when there were the bank failures. Banks were more inclined to generate deposits than generate new loans. That shift is occurring, so banks are ready to lend more money. The capital markets are ripe and available. A lot of larger companies have done multiple bond refinancings. And there's a ton of money on the sideline through private equity. So our hope is that 2025 is a big tailwind for all of us, and there's a lot of transactional work that benefits us all. So good news there. I want to conclude, again, thank you for all that you do in support of our clients to keep things going. Obviously want to congratulate Jen on all her achievements that she outlined at the beginning, and then welcome to Katayun Jaffari in her new role for the upcoming year. And lastly, on behalf of my colleagues at Citizens, we wish you all a very happy, healthy holiday season and all the best in the upcoming year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan. And now, in accordance with the Philadelphia Bar Association bylaws, I call upon the association's secretary, Deb Winokur, to cast the unanimous vote in favor of the uncontested nominees.
Thank you, Chancellor Coatsworth. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to cast my unanimous vote for the following candidates. For Vice Chancellor, Christine L. Callowang. For Secretary, Karima Yelverton. For Treasurer, Erin Lamb. For Assistant Secretary, Melanie Foreman. For Assistant Treasurer, Josh Byrne. And now for Board of Governors, Lakeisha Fields. Rhonda Fulgenetti. Kevin Levy. And Gabrielle Outlaw.
Thank you, Deb. As an association, it is critical that we nurture strong relationships with our law schools and give law students the opportunity to gain valuable experiences and opportunities as active members. Among those opportunities is our annual legal writing contest, named for the late U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I'd now like to welcome Ginsburg Legal Writing Competition Chair Lou Ruley to tell us more about our 2024 winner.
Good evening, everyone. It is my great honor to chair the Philadelphia Bar Association's Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg Pursuit of Justice Legal Writing Competition this year. This is the 22nd year of the competition, named in honor of our beloved Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, in recognition of the importance of excellence in legal writing. In these challenging times, Justice Ginsburg's wise words are more important than ever. She famously said, "Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." Our association proudly amplifies that message. In the legal writing competition, we received outstanding papers from area law students addressing a range of topics relating to rights, privileges, and responsibilities under federal law. We invited a distinguished panel of judges drawn from the judiciary, leading practitioners, and faculty representatives from area law schools to assess the papers in accordance with criteria established by the competition. The judges, some of whom are present here tonight, generously volunteered their time and their expertise, and we sincerely thank each and every one of them. Without their participation, this competition would not be possible. Due to the generosity of the Philadelphia Bar Association, the Ginsburg Award recipient will receive a $2,500 cash award, and the winning paper will be published in the Philadelphia Lawyer magazine or another appropriate bar publication. I now get to tell you about this year's recipient. This year's award recipient is Zoe Bertrand, a third-year law student at Temple University's Beasley School of Law, where she is on the Dean's Honor List, and she's the lead articles editor for the Temple Law Review. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Women and Gender Studies, cum laude, from Georgetown University. She has summered at Galfand Berger here in Philadelphia and has served as an intern at Hayes, helping clients on removal defense and asylum matters. When she is not hard at work, excelling in her studies and in her legal work, she enjoys yoga, bicycling, baking, and cult documentaries. Not sure about that? We'll talk about it. Zoe's winning paper is titled A Constitutional Argument for D.C. Statehood. Zoe reminds us that nearly 700,000 people reside in D.C., but they are systematically denied the rights and protections guaranteed to every other American citizen residing in the 50 states. She traces the history of this long-standing reality, from the district's founding through Reconstruction through the modern era, describing how the district became a nucleus for Black freedom and abolitionist efforts, and how Congress passed legislation in 1867 granting Black male citizens in D.C. the right to vote. And this was before the ratification of the 15th Amendment, along with home rule for the district, only then to revoke such home rule 7 years later as Black influence and power grew in self-government. Zoe highlights the role that racist bias has played in D.C.'s disenfranchisement. Zoe's paper reminds us that even today, the district still has no representative in the Senate, either in committees or on the floor. While the district has one non-voting delegate to the House of Representatives who can introduce legislation, the delegate cannot vote. At the same time, the district's 700,000 residents pay federal taxes, serve on jury duty, register with Selective Service, and are required to fulfill the many other obligations of citizenship. Against this history, Zoe makes the case for D.C. statehood, after reviewing key constitutional provisions such as the District Clause, the Admissions Clause, and the 23rd Amendment to the Constitution, she concludes that a small federal district could be legally carved out, encompassing the Capitol and main federal buildings, while the remainder of the district could form the nation's 51st state. There is much more to this outstanding paper that time will not allow me to discuss, and there'll be no quizzes tonight on this. But you will get the chance to read the paper in its entirety when it appears in a bar publication. Zoe, on behalf of the Philadelphia Bar Association, we are very pleased to recognize you as the 2024 award recipient of the Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg Pursuit of Justice Legal Writing Competition. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me and congratulate Zoe Bertram. Whichever way you want to do it. You're the Chancellor.
Thank you, Lou, and congratulations to Zoe on your accomplishment. We are lucky as an association to have both vibrant law student lawyers as members and long-tenured lawyers and judges who remain active even into retirement. This evening, in addition to honoring our law students, we honor the new inductees to our 50 and 60-year clubs. Speaking tonight on behalf of our 50-year class is past Chancellor and my dear friend and mentor, the Honorable A. Michael Snyder.
She really is amazing. So, good evening, everybody. I'm really happy to be standing here this evening to say a few words on behalf of the 85 men and women who are being recognized this evening as members of this association's 50 and 60-year clubs. Actually, I'm really happy to be standing at all. I want to thank our amazing Chancellor, Jen Coatsworth, for giving me this opportunity. I remember many years ago when I attended my first annual meeting as a young lawyer. I sat in the ballroom of the Bellevue Stratford watching as the names of each of those lawyers being recognized as 50, 60, or 70-year club members was displayed on a large screen. I remember thinking, will I ever be that old to be seeing my name up there? Well, here I am now standing here, a lot grayer, more than a bit heavier, and wondering, how did I come to be here? I suspect that many of my friends and colleagues being recognized today feel the same way. So much has happened to the world, to this association, and to each of us in the ensuing years since we first became lawyers. The Vietnam War was still being fought when we were sworn in as attorneys. Those of us in the 50-year club even had the draft lottery to deal with. Women only represented 20 to 25% of our class when we entered law school. The number of students of color was even less. As we began our careers, we and the Bar Association recognized that this was an intolerable situation. The Philadelphia Bar Association took positions to advance an advocate for our law schools to have a student body that more closely resembled that of the community around us. We continue to advocate to advance DEI in our profession. We entered the practice of law with little in the way of technology to assist us. Letters were still typed on a typewriter, albeit probably an IBM Selectric with a rotating golf ball. Copiers were enormous and slow. The first one that I had experience with weighed 650 pounds and was roughly the size of a VW Bug. It also came with a fire extinguisher because it evidently had a tendency to catch fire. I'm not kidding, it's all true. Personal computers were not to be found. Legal research was done by searching through a number of volumes of Shepard's, each one the size of a telephone book, for citations of similar or differing cases, going to the law library, pulling out those bound volumes, and taking notes. And that was the way we did research. Computerized research, when it became legal and came out, was extraordinarily expensive. Over the years, we and the association faced numerous challenges. Wars other than Vietnam took some of our number away. 9/11 brought a large-scale terrorism to our shores. Not too long ago, in 2020, we found ourselves facing COVID, forcing us to learn to practice using video conferencing instead of live appearances for depositions, hearings, and trials. When we did venture out of our homes, we wore masks to protect ourselves and others. Despite challenges such as these, we and the association pushed on. We as a profession spoke out against attacks on the rule of law, on racism, xenophobia, and bigotry. As the oldest bar association in the U.S., we took positions on controversial issues. We spoke out in defense of judges who were attacked when those judges could not speak out for themselves. We advocated for the civil rights of all, not just the privileged few. One of our own 50-year club members, Mark Aronchik, a former chancellor, led a team of lawyers representing the plaintiffs in Whitewood versus Wolf, the case that struck down Pennsylvania's Defense of Marriage Act, paving the way for the legalization of same-sex marriage in Pennsylvania. 5 of our number ascended to the bench, including one woman, Justice Jane Cutler Greenspan, who became a justice of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. We learned that if challenges to our laws, to our profession arose, we needed to be able to pivot, to change course in order to survive. As a result, we not only survived, we thrived. Gradually, we adopted the tools of modern technology. We each became addicted to our smartphones and our laptops. Just recently, generative AI has come on the scene. Many have thought that we might be replaced by computers that seemed at times to have the possibility of becoming sentient, kind of like the computer HAL in 2001: A Space Odyssey. I'm actually not too afraid that AI is going to eliminate our roles. Computers may be able to make things easier for us to perform certain tasks, but I think that those who become our clients look to us for advice, for counsel. No matter how intelligent AI systems become, they're unlikely to be able to empathize, to pick up on a client's moods, emotions, fears, desires. We are now, and will continue to be, needed to do that which we have done for hundreds of years: listen to our clients' problems, advise them as to a course of action, and work to solve their problems. One of the things that we are able to do that no piece of hardware or software can do is to physically reach out to a client, to touch them on the shoulder, to shake their hand, to do that which only a human being can do, to show warmth, compassion, and caring to those who need it. As attorneys and judges, we're also entrusted with the education and training of law students and young lawyers. We're charged with acting as mentors to younger lawyers. Fortunately, age doesn't necessarily diminish our ability to serve as a guide or mentor to those younger than us. Over and over, as we deal with a difficult issue, as we solve a client's problems, as we prove that we are now and always will be needed, I think of the 1978 song sung by Gloria Gaynor, "I Will Survive." Perhaps a small change in the title to "We Will Survive" should be okay. We continue to be vital to our communities, to society, and to the public. As I come to the end of these remarks, I think of the hysterical song from Monty Python's Spamalot, "I Am Not Yet Dead." Hopefully, we will all continue to thrive, to create, to serve our clients and our communities. We are still strong. We will get even stronger. Congratulations to all my friends and colleagues who have reached these milestones today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, and congratulations again to all of this year's inductees. And now I'm pleased to introduce another past chancellor and another one of my dear friends, Citizens Bank Achievement Award Committee Chair Al Dandridge, who will tell us more about this year's recipient, and Doug Moxham and Patricia Horter of Citizens Bank, who will help present the award.
Good evening. The Philadelphia Bar Association Achievement Award is for, among other things, significant accomplishments in improving the administration of justice, distinguished service consistently rendered over a sustained period of time, and a rise from volunteer activities. In other words, the Achievement Award was written for Joe Tate. Where do I start? Where do I finish? From his many years of service on the Leadership Council and Board of Community Legal Services, providing legal assistance to the poor, to sponsoring a loan repayment assistance plan and supporting fellowships for Villanova law students and graduates, through his work with the American College of Trial Lawyers in initiating the Distinguished Pro Bono Fellows Program within the college, through which leading trial lawyers across the country lend their talents and legal programs to public interest activities, which, among other things, help fund the Landlord-Tenant Help Center in Philadelphia. The list goes on and on. But more than that, Joe is a true Philadelphia story. He grew up in a blue-collar family, attended Villanova University and Villanova Law School, and he never forgot where he came from. Joe has volunteered tirelessly over many years in support, both with his leadership and his finances, our community. For all this, we are so very grateful. Thank you, Joe, a recognition so very, very well deserved. Joe, where are you? Come get it.
I'm not used to using this cane, so as most of my law partners know, I'm always very clumsy. So this was really phony. I dropped it on purpose. I thank everybody for being here. And it's been so nice since a lot of my old friends who I haven't seen, somebody said long-tenured friends. We're not old, but I've seen them here tonight, and that's very nice. When I received this call from Al and Jen, to say I was overwhelmed is an understatement. I thank Community Legal Services for nominating me and for the Bar Committee for granting me this award. But there are a lot of other people that I should be thanking. When you work at Community Legal Services and its sister agency, Philadelphia Legal Assistance, you see the true Philadelphia lawyers. These are people who wake up in the morning and they're happy because they're helping the poor in our city. And they get no reward for it. They're suffering financially. They get no acclaim, but they do it with a smile on their face and a view that this is the best job in the whole world. When I think about my career and think about the people that helped me, I do want to thank Community Legal Services, Debbie Friedman, Kathy Carr, Lou Rowley, Deanna Gaylor,
and then my friends Judy Leone, who was part of the nominating committee, and Judge Jerry McHugh. Jerry's not long tenured, he's old. Just as importantly, I'd like to thank my family because they've supported me in my law practice and in the venture with Community Legal Services. They are the foundation of my life. My wife, Detta, would you stand up? My sons, Joseph and Matthew, and their spouses, Kate and Liesel, and my grandchildren, Stokes and Marielle. Would you stand up? I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my law firm, Deckert, and Susie Turner, who motivates all our lawyers to take on community service projects. They have done a wonderful job. I asked myself the other day, how did I get here? What brought me to this podium tonight? And Al referred to it. I grew up in a family that had to scratch for everything we had. My parents worked very hard, but they always had an open door and a meal for someone that didn't have what we had. My law school, Villanova, we have a mission of helping others. That's what the professional life is all about. And fortunately, I started my career in the Department of Justice, where the lawyers toil without a claim or financial success to help others every day. When I think about that, I say, wouldn't it be neat if we could all think like that? How do we help the people around us? Some people don't like the phrase I use, but it's the forgotten people, the people that fall between the cracks. They don't have the education, the housing, the food, the privileges that we have. In my early years in private practice, I would ask myself, what really is the Philadelphia lawyer? Well, the Philadelphia lawyer was someone who was knowledgeable, intelligent, could write a great brief, but the Philadelphia lawyer took on unpopular causes, took care of the forgotten people. And we should aspire to be that Philadelphia lawyer. I love being a lawyer. I love my law firm and my clients. And fortunately, most of the people in this room have had success at practicing law. But we can't forget those people that don't have what we have. And that's what I've been able to do with Community Legal Services and its sister agency, PLA. It has given me much more than I gave them. It's given me the opportunity to understand the bigger picture of what a lawyer should be. We are leaders in our community. We should act like leaders. We are in one of the poorest cities in the United States. And I suggest we could all take some time out of our practice to do the work that the Philadelphia lawyer does. And I challenge everybody here tonight, when you get to your offices, think about the forgotten people. Think about what you can do to make the world better for them. That is my challenge. Thank you. Thank you, Wade.
Congratulations again, Joe, on your really well-deserved award. We're so motivated by all the work that you do, and we're gratified to have you as one of our members. And now, I'm pleased to introduce two more of my very dear friends, Shelley Smith and Lynn Marks, co-chairs of our Justice Sonia Sotomayor Award Committee, who will tell us more about this year's recipient.
Congratulations again, Joe, and to CLS for all this important work. And your words were really compelling. Thank you. I'm Lynn Marks, and you probably already know.
I'm Shelley Smith.
Shelley Smith. And together we have chaired a really powerhouse awards committee. Let me just tell you about the criteria for the Sotomayor Award. It recognizes and honors an individual or entity that has made substantial and lasting contributions to diversity and the Bar Association's goal of promoting full and equal participation and inclusion in the legal profession. So Shelley's going to introduce our extraordinary honoree, but I want to also point out that we had some really well-deserving nominations in addition to hers, so I hope we're going to have even more next year. Okay.
Thank you, Lynn. Tonight, we are pleased to honor Renee Garcia, the City Solicitor for the City of Philadelphia. Renee is a client of mine, and she's become a friend, and we obviously share a certain professional experience. So when she asked me earlier this evening not to embarrass her, I promised I would do my best to embarrass her. The thing is, though, it's easier to embarrass Renee than not, because she's most easily embarrassed by a recitation and the recognition of her many accomplishments. Throughout her career, she's demonstrated her dedication to the causes of diversity and equity, not only in the legal community itself, where she has supported and mentored Latino lawyers and young lawyers and law students of all stripes, but in the practice of law as well. As Joe Tate exhorted us a few minutes ago, while in-house at PNC, Renee supported issues and causes intended to improve business outcomes for underserved communities and encouraged support for social justice programs because they served corporate goals. As litigation chair for the City of Philadelphia's Law Department, she steered the city's successful defense of its allocation of money from the city's general fund to support an abortion litigation fund. As city solicitor, she leads the municipal law firm responsible for defending the legal interests of a majority-minority city with one of the highest rates of poverty amongst big cities in the country. She has served on the boards of Community Legal Services, Planned Parenthood of Pennsylvania, the Hispanic Bar Association, and Intercultural Journeys, an arts nonprofit. She volunteers pro bono legal services through the Senior Law Center, the Support Center for Child Advocates, and the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund, among other organizations. These are just a few of Renee's many accomplishments, but it's really important to know that Renee does all of these things without looking for any accolades or commendations, but simply because she believes that they're the right thing to do. She's firmly committed to equity and inclusion and dedicated to using her various roles to improve her community and the practice of law because she knows how important it is for all of us to have a voice and visibility and access and equity. The role of city solicitor, then, is perfect for Renee because it's a position in which you have a unique opportunity to do the right thing in any given situation. And although she does not seek accolades, we're honored to give her one this evening. Renee, congratulations.
That wasn't too bad. I was thinking of borrowing Joe's cane and like throwing it on the floor. So Joe got to talk about when he got the call and was overwhelmed. So I'll tell you how I got the call. So I got both an email and text from Jen. Like, she's got to talk to me now. And I was like, oh my God, Jen needs me. And like, hung up the phone, I got on a Zoom, and Shelly's on there. And I'm like, what has gone wrong? Something terrible has gone wrong. But they said, no, you got this award. And I was like, oh my God, of all the years to get a diversity award. And of course, my instinct, as people who look like me, are like, oh, I didn't do enough. You come back in 10 years, come back in 20 years, it hasn't been enough. And of course, it's never going to be enough. None of the work we ever do in DEI is ever going to be enough. There's never going to be an end. There's never going to be a time when I call Jen and say, hey, remember that unconscious bias thing we solved? Like, it's never going to happen, right? But we take one step at a time, and we learn. We learn along the way. I think of, 20 years ago when we were doing diversity work, how different it is now, just in the gender space. Think about that. So many concepts we didn't even think about 20 years ago. And as I'm learning to be a better leader and a leader for this city, I reflect on one statement that I heard. I know the exact moment that I heard it, but a woman said, plantations were very diverse places. Let me say that one more time. Yeah, I know. Look, mouth open. Plantations were really diverse places, and you don't have to know where I was. You don't have to know the context. You know exactly what that means, right? And I was thinking last night, the Supreme Court was probably a pretty diverse place in 1857 when Supreme Court Justice Taney was writing the Dred Scott opinion. Think about all the people who were working in the kitchens and cleaning the boots and literally shoveling horseshit for these justices, right? They might have been former slaves, freed persons, descendants of slaves, and they're here, like, moving the engine of the Supreme Court while he's literally writing this decision. Maybe they helped to publish that decision. Maybe they ran that decision to the newspapers or the law firms or wherever opinions went. So diversity is just a number, right? And people say, how do you feel about diversity? I say, I feel it's a number. I feel it's a number that can grow, but it's in the equity, right? And you heard several times tonight how important that is. That is where the magic is, and that is where we must strive, in the equity. And I'm so privileged to do that work every day at the law department. Every single day, every transaction, every ordinance, every case, we think about equity. And there's at least 4 former solicitors here, and I thank them for paving that path. Right? We are not the Department of No. We are the Department, oh, someone's clapping, of, yeah, thank you. Thank the city solicitors, right? We are the Department of, yes, that is legal, but how is that going to affect the people that we serve? And I'm so thankful that I have a mayor, and Jim Kenney, the prior mayor, was the same, that we can have those conversations. And after the election in November, I got a lot of calls and texts. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because we feel like the structures of equity that we have put in place are crumbling. And I said, I'm going to work. I don't know what y'all are doing. Joe Tate gave you homework, but I am going to work, right? And it can be exhausting. It will be exhausting. Because at the very core, we are tribal beings. We're not supposed to leave our communities. We're not supposed to share resources. We're not supposed to rejigger gender norms, right? We're not supposed to question the leader unless we can beat him in a fight. And I mean him, right? That is our nature. So we are in an uphill battle. There's only one way. It's only uphill. It's in the snow with no shoes, right? There's going to be no downhill in this battle for equity. And I don't know what's going to happen over the next 4 years. I'm probably going to call on a lot of you in this job. But I'm going to take this award, not because of what I've done in the past, because that's embarrassing, but I'm taking it for strength for the future, for the law department, for everybody in this room. Because tomorrow I gotta get up and I gotta go to work and do it all over again. So thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Renee, on this amazing accomplishment. You are so deserving of this honor, and I am thrilled that you are receiving this award in this year. And now, it is my honor and privilege to introduce you to our 2025 Chancellor, Katayun Jaffari. Kathy and I have been friends for many years, dating back to a political fundraiser more than a decade ago, when I had the opportunity to meet her partner, Fee, and she had the chance to meet my dad. We bonded over our shared values, and we supported each other's journeys through bar leadership, leading to the culmination of both of our bar careers, ascending to eventually become Chancellor of this amazing organization. I have had the true joy and pleasure to work closely with Kathy over the past 2 years, and I have learned an incredible amount from her. I have witnessed firsthand her tremendous love and respect for this association. Kathy has a keen knack for details, and she has a breadth of knowledge about good governance, so I know that she is exactly the right person to lead us through our transition with a new executive director. She has her finger on the pulse of our profession, and I know she has some truly exciting ideas about innovation and technology that she will share with us tonight. Kathy has also earned the respect and admiration of so many in our legal profession. She has particularly close ties with large firm and corporate counsel communities, and I know that she will work to grow the foundation of those relationships that we have built so that our association can grow and benefit. I am so excited to learn more about Kathy's ideas for how we can grow our association further and raise it to even greater heights. And now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming our 2025 Chancellor, Kathy Jaffari.
Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you so much for your leadership this year. Thank you for all that you've done for the association. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to be in collaboration with you. And I look forward to continuing the collaboration into 2025. So please, let's give a hand for Jen Coatsworth, our 2024 Chancellor. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge, boy, it's going to be hard going after Joe Tate and Renee Garcia. Thank you so much to these two incredible awardees and our other awardee this evening with respect to writing. That's the best example of what this association provides, gives, and does together. This is the true example of the difference that we can make as an association. Also, please join me in thanking Harvey Hurdle, our Executive Director, and all of the staff at the Bar Association for all they do every day, and especially tonight. So a huge shout out to Allie Hooven, back in the room. I see you, Allie. Thank you for making this so beautiful this evening. And wow, that's what I want to say. Look around this room. First of all, it's a beautiful room, so thank you, Allie. Second of all, I have to say how touched, moved, and inspired I am by seeing everyone here this evening. I want you to just take 1 second. Look to your right, look to your left, look in front of you, look behind you. This is the beauty of the legal community of Philadelphia. Take it in, acknowledge it, know that this is your tribe, okay? This is your crew. I am grateful that you have all been here tonight for all of the awardees, and I'm grateful to just spend a few minutes with you to tell you a little bit about myself, but more importantly, to talk to you about the association. And let me just start by saying, at 10 years old, I informed my parents, yes, informed my parents that I wanted to be a lawyer. Why a lawyer? I love to argue, and I guess more importantly, I love to win. How many people like to argue and win? Everybody should have their hands up. So I love to argue, I love to win, and I thought, I gotta be a lawyer. And my poor sister, Katayun Jaffari, had to live through that every day, watching me and my father sit and discuss politics. Yet, yes, at 10 years old, I did discuss politics. We were on opposite sides of the aisle, thank goodness. In the years of the 2000s, he moved over to my side of the aisle. But the real important thing was that my father taught me how to have civil discourse and how to have disagreements by still having love between two people. And so through those debates, that's what I learned, civil discourse and love. But more importantly, what my sister and I learned from our parents was service to society. One day, I literally went up to my parents and I said, what's our purpose in life? Why are we here? It was actually a school assignment. I didn't just think it up. So I asked them, what is our purpose? And both of them said in unison, service to society. They both said, our duty is to give back. As a first-generation American, I know all that my parents had to give up when they left Iran to come to the United States and create and raise a family. They gave up their home, they gave up their land, they gave up their families, all so that they could give a better life to their two daughters. Even my mother had to give up her name. My father is Mohammed Jaffari, my mother is Parvaneh Shukrahi. And in Iran, you do not take the name of your husband. So when she came here, she had to become Parvaneh Jaffari. So I know what they had to give up to be here and to raise us. And while children of immigrants see their parents' struggles every day, their parents try to hide it, but we see it. They also try to hide the indignities that they suffer having a different culture and a different name. And so all they did, they gave up, was to come here to provide a better life for their daughters. A place where we could raise our voices and make a difference to help others. So I stand here today accepting the role of Chancellor of the Philadelphia Bar Association in their honor, with the hopes that they can look down at me, at my family, at all of you, knowing that we will all strive to protect the rights of all people, because that's what we do as lawyers every day. You heard Joe, you heard Renee. Every day, our job is to be the voices, the champions, the advocates of those who need us, whether they are businesses striving to keep this great capitalistic experiment alive. Had to say that, I'm a business lawyer. Or they are the individuals who are struggling and suffering the injustices of the world, those who need us the most for justice and access to justice. We have a duty to stand for democracy and to protect the rule of law. Without it, we have chaos. And I stand here before you today saying I accept that role that will help us fill the duty together. So before I share my thoughts about what we can do at the Philadelphia Bar Association, I do want to share a few acknowledgments for some very important people and institutions. And first and foremost, I would not be here but for Cozen O'Connor and the support of Vince McGinnis, Michael Heller, and the leadership of my group, Suzanne Mays, Jeff Leonard, Ira Gubernick, and Larry Laubach. Yes, it's a large group. It's a great group, large group. Cozen O'Connor believes in this city, in this association, and in its lawyers. Cozen is a firm that pays for 100% participation in the association by its lawyers. I find it awe-inspiring, and I challenge all of you to meet Cozen's leadership. I'm also proud that my leader, Steve Cozen, is a 60-year member of the association, and that makes me very grateful to be part of an institution that supports the Bar Association. Vince, Sarah Schlossberg, Brandy Scalessa helped me endlessly to get here today, so thank you to the three of you. So all of you know that I truly believe this. I think this city is filled with incredible law firms, incredible lawyers, but I have to give a shout out to two other incredible law firms that I got to spend my legal career at. And I'm going to start with Ballard Spahr and my wonderful partners. I could list many, many of whom are here tonight, but especially those who were my confidants and brought me to Ballard. Justin Klein, Leslie John, Mark Stewart, Marcel Platt, and of course my main confidant, Virginia Sando. Ballard was the home I needed to build my practice as a governance and securities lawyer. And that's what I got to do at Ballard Spahr. And of course, Saul Ewing, and I know Saul Ewing's in the house as well, with lawyers such as Fred Strober and those who left us too soon, like Clayton Underkoffler, Frank DeMoore, and Spencer Frank. It was at Saul Ewing that I got tremendous, incredible training as an associate. And more importantly, or just as important, it's where I found my crew. Tanuja, Sarah, Risa, thank you so much for being with me through everything. I don't know who I would be or what I would do without you. Whew, they did bring me tissues just in case. And so I say to the young lawyers, find your crew. I can tell you almost 30 years later, my crew is in the house, and they're always there for me when I need them. And I must share my tremendous opportunity and privilege to be a child advocate and actually to have had the opportunity to do all of the pro bono work that I've done over the last almost 30 years. I want to shout out Frank Cervone and Margie Gualtieri, and of course, Len Bernstein, for whom I tried to emulate as a leader when I was president of the Support Center for Child Advocates, where I have represented abused and neglected children for over 28 years. These children are some of the most important clients in my career. So, as the oldest bar association in the country, and one that represents thousands of Philadelphia lawyers, what's important to me is that we listen, and that we listen to you, that you feel heard and seen, and you tell us what you want and what you need to support your careers. I am a servant leader with the goal to have our members feel seen and heard. And as a lifelong Philadelphian, I have a goal to be seen and heard by the Philadelphia Bar Association of the Philadelphia community. I want everyone to love the career they have as much as I love being a lawyer. The mission of the Philadelphia Bar Association is to serve the profession and the public by promoting justice and professional excellence. The Bar Association has always been a leader in protecting the rule of law, in upholding judicial independence, and promoting equal access to justice with excellence and civility. We have always upheld those ideals and have always created programs and initiatives that support our mission. We will be ready, and we will meet any and all challenges that come our way in 2025. Why? Because we will do it together. I know we live in divisive times, and we at the Bar Association see ourselves as the convener. We are always prepared to provide information and education about judicial and legal systems. One great example, folks, of this is, don't forget, 2025 is a judicial election year. And as all of us are proud of the Judicial Commission and the campaign for judges that we have at the Bar Association, this is your opportunity to help join that cause. We're still trying to fill investigative teams, so see me, Jen, or Ezra to fill those investigative teams. And now, Christine as our Vice Chancellor future for 2025. In addition, we'll always be here as a convener to make sure that our members and the Philadelphia community is informed, and as voters, they have the opportunity to get all of the information they need, including next year, we will have an election for the district attorney as well. The one thing that we are proud of at the association is our strategic plan. In 2018, when I was chair of the Board of Governors, we created our first strategic plan. As a governance lawyer, you have to imagine I love strategic plans. So I believe in structure and process, not for process sake, but to help us build a foundation to work from. And we are striving and working into the future on that foundation. Of course, as Jen mentioned, one of our top priorities in 2025 will be the search for a new executive director in the spring. We are so proud for all that Harvey has done, and I see you, Harvey, for the last 5 to 6 years. Harvey has created an incredible foundation with all of us by his side in order to build on for our members. We have been extremely thoughtful through the process, and our Board of Governors has been diligent in its duties. We are lucky to have Marcel Pratt as our chair of the search committee, and we will be in the process of building that search committee and hiring a search firm. I have to say, I am so proud of our current leadership and what they have done in the process of being conscientious and careful. And I know all of the candidates applying for this role will be striving and fighting, and they'll be proud to be part of the Philadelphia Bar Association. Just a couple of very quick specifics, because I know I'm between, actually, what comes next is drinks, so let's hurry it up. A couple of membership resources that we are building on. We want to make sure that we're helping all of our members think about the future and the changing world that we have. So we are creating a center for innovation in the practice of law. And this center will concentrate on technology changes, not just AI or cyber, but what's next, so that we can help support you in your careers. We're also creating and building out our career development services, which will encompass our mentoring program. We're even launching new committees like the Paralegal Committee, and we're bringing back the Military Affairs Committee. So there's so much more that we're gonna do, but how are we gonna get it all done? It's not just me, it's all of you. And it's each of the members in this association that are gonna help us get it done. And so honestly, I think it's more important for you to actually hear from some commitments of some of our fellow members. So let's see if this works. It's an idea that sometimes doesn't always work, but we'll give it a try. I'm gonna start with Vic. Vic, as my appointee for our incoming chair of the Board of Governors, what is your commitment to the Philadelphia Bar Association?
Hello, everyone. I'm Vic Patel. One of the most important things about the Philadelphia Bar Association is the community that we have created together. So I promise to support that community, to build that community, and to protect that community no matter what we face. That way we can all be there for each other and for the people that we serve.
Joyce, what is your commitment for the Philadelphia Bar Association? And Joyce is our incoming YLD chair.
Thank you. My commitment to Just Your Initiative this year comes from an old Nigerian adage that says, to go fast, you go by yourself. but to go far, you go together. So our commitment and our dedication is to make sure that we go further together.
Mark, my appointee for chair of the Judicial Commission, what is your commitment to the Philadelphia Bar Association?
Unaccustomed as I am to public speech, I pledge to you, Kathy, and to the Bar Association that our Judicial Commission will uphold its long-standing reputation for elevating the quality of our judiciary and maintaining that quality through our diligence and comprehensive evaluations.
And Christine, our Vice Chancellor-to-be in 2025, what is your commitment to the Philadelphia Bar Association?
Look at all these smiling faces. So I have a lot, and Kathy told me I have to cut it down, so I'm cutting it down. She said I had a compound sentence, I think, when I was giving her, so thank you, Kathy. So I would like to enhance our collaboration. I would like to promote more civility and make sure that everyone knows the Philadelphia Bar Association is your legal home, where you are welcome, where you belong, and where you will be valued. And I can't wait to get to work. And my son Alex is here, so in his words, I'll say, let's go!
Woohoo! Ezra, our 2025 Chancellor-elect, what is your commitment to our association?
First, my commitment is to our Chancellor, Kathy Jaffari, to help her be one of the most successful chancellors in our history. For me personally, I take myself back to a meeting in Larry Beaser's office over a year ago when he asked me, why do you want to run to be chancellor? And I told him, as a trial lawyer, the respect for the rule of law is paramount. And in this time, like Renee told us, the challenges will be great. But we can do this together. We will do this together.
And now I want to hear from the staff. Sarah, what is your commitment to the Philadelphia Bar Association?
Thank you so much, Kathy. I commit to empowering my fellow members to address the issues that are impacting not only our clients and our profession, but also society at large. Through active use of resolutions, testimony, and other policy-setting tools, we will remain an association that is strong, relevant, and has a lasting impact.
And I want to hear from Rachel. Rachel, what's your commitment to the Philadelphia Bar Association?
I am committed to working with the association members and leadership to amplify your voices and to get the word out about the association's positive impact on the legal profession and access to justice efforts on behalf of all Philadelphians.
Woohoo! And finally, my friend, my confidant, Virginia Sando, the future appointee as diversity chair of the association. What is your commitment to the Philadelphia Bar Association?
Tara Phoenix, stand with me, please. Together with Tara, in the Office of Diversity, we commit to collaborating with law firm leaders in the city of Philadelphia to identify key priorities related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we will strategize to improve and do what we can for this evolving, nuanced, and chaotic world. Thank you.
Thank you all for your commitments. And I am sure each and every one of you have a commitment for your career, for the Bar Association. I want to hear from all of you, but I think we also want to eat and drink. And we want to hear about the great outcome of the YLD election, another example of how we are champions of our democracy. Elections, votings, they are the pinnacle of protecting democracy. So please, think of your commitment, bring it forth in our work, and we will do it together. Finally, just a few closing remarks. I have not been able to do a single good thing in my life, here they are, but for my family. And if I've ever done anything that's not so good, I don't blame them. So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge my parents, who I miss every single day, and I wish they were on this earth with us to see this day. But I have faith and hope that they can. I want to thank you. I knew I should have looked at you. My sister, my friend, and my other confidant, Sotomayor Jaffari. She has been with me through thick and thin. Her husband, Mark, and their beautiful twins, Amina and Yasmin. Sotomayor had to put up with a lot I'm a Leo. I'm loud. You can probably tell I'm loud. And I'm a know-it-all. So my sister definitely had to put up with a lot. And so I am really grateful that she did put up with everything, especially while she and I were caring for our ailing parents for many, many years together. Amina and Yasmin, I want you to know I am learning every day, every hour, and every minute from you. I will continue to watch you flourish and contribute to this world. And finally, Fi Sapahi, my life partner, the love of my life, and his smart, beautiful, incredible daughter, Nikki. The two of you complete my world. I want to take a moment to remind you that today is Human Rights Day. It is observed in the international community every year, and it commemorates the day in 1948 when the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As a descendant of Persian culture and a child of Iranian immigrants, I am honored to share with you the poem that is inscribed on the walls of the United Nations in New York City by the famous Iranian poet Sa'adi from the 13th century, whose poem about unity of humankind, regardless of social barriers and labels, must be preserved. The English translation is as follows. Human beings are members of a whole, in creation of one essence and soul. If one member is inflicted with pain, other members uneasy will remain. If you have no sympathy for human pain, the name of human you may not retain. So let's join together. Let's protect the rule of law, empower inclusivity and belonging, bring more compassion, civility, humanity, fun, and love, yes, love, into our community, and build our community together. I am your humble servant, so call on me, and together we will lead Philadelphia into the future. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm sure you're all as excited as I am to see where Kathy leads our association forward in the year to come. And congratulations again to our award recipients, Joe Tate, Renee Garcia, and Zoe Bertrand, and to our 50 and 60-year club inductees. Thank you again to our sponsors, our event sponsors, Citizens Bank and Citizens Private Wealth, our annual partners, 11 Star Legal Search, Bit by Bit, M&T Bank, Profit Solve, USI Affinity, My Benefit Advisor, and Wealth Enhancement Group. To our firm and event sponsors at the gold level, Ballard Spar, Blank Rome, Cozen O'Connor, and Deckert. At the silver level, Fox Rothschild, Feldman Shepard, Tannard, Weinstock, and Dodig, and White and Williams. And at the bronze level, Broadridge, Holland and Knight, and Saul Ewing. And to our institutional members, Drexel University Klein School of Law, Temple University Beasley School of Law, the City of Philadelphia Law Department, the District Attorney's Office, the Defender Association of Philadelphia, Community Legal Services, Philadelphia Legal Assistance, the Public Interest Law Center, and the Senior Law Center. Finally, this event and all of the association's activities are made possible through the hard work and dedication of our amazing staff, led by Executive Director Harvey Hurdle. We will miss you tremendously in the years to come. Thank you all to our staff for the amazing work that you put in to make everything that we do possible. And now I invite you to join me in the reception. In about 20 minutes at 7 p.m., we are going to announce the winners of this year's bar election for the YLD Executive Committee. Happy holidays and good night. It's been an honor to work with all of you this year.